All right, so I'm on YouTube and a video pops up on my feed that admittedly the title caught my eye. It was called, or it is called, You're Not Poor, You're Getting Robbed. Okay. And I thought, let me see what this is about. It's kind of interesting, kind of aggressive. Let's see what this is. And it turns out that there's this channel called Fantastic who has 338,000 subscribers, good amount of people, 2.9 million views. Okay. Made just over about 15 months ago. 163,000 likes on this video. And I start watching this. I'm like, okay, she's very aggressive. She speaks about how she hates the banks or stick it to the bank and how mortgages are this thing that we're accustomed to getting and we don't pay it off and blah, 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 blah. And she comes up with what she is deeming a amazing strategy to lower the amount of time you have on a mortgage. Okay. So to go over some of the details here, basically she's saying you have a mortgage, you get a line of credit. She doesn't say that it's a HELOC, a home equity line of credit, but she says a line of credit. She says use the lock to pay down your mortgage in chunks. Okay. Pay back the lock every month. And she claims that this will substantially decrease your mortgage timeline. Okay. For example, from 30 years down to, she says 77 months. All right. The details, the data that she's inputting for this is a mortgage of $135,000 at a mortgage rate of 7.75%. The line of credit of $10,000 at 14%. Okay. And again, like I said, she says to take each chunk, so $10,000 chunks, throw it in against your mortgage, so pay down the principal. And each chunk should take you 6 months to pay down, and you'll pay down the whole mortgage in 77 months. So on the surface, okay, this is kind of an interesting idea. However, intuitively for one moment, how can getting a second loan at a nearly double interest rate speed up the payoff process of a mortgage? And this is where I feel compelled. I had to dig into this a little bit deeper, run the numbers, and see whether something's not working out here. And sure enough, let's do that. So looking at her inputs, she has, and she said client or person, at least that she spoke to, has an income of $5,200 a month, $4,100 in expenses. So net income, which by the way, for some reason, I don't know why, but she calls it cash flow. And just to show that I'm getting this information from here, here, income 5,200, expenses 4,100. Again, she calls it cash flow. Not really sure it's in net income, but then she talks about the details of the mortgage itself, 150,000, 10% down, which by the way, this person's already pretty leveraged up, I would say, which is up here. Purchase price 150. And if you watch the video, 17 minutes long, you'll get all this information. And again, she claims to go get a second loan, another loan. She calls it a lock. I'm assuming I'm assuming it's a home equity line of credit. However, if somebody's already leveraged up this much at 90%, I don't know how they're going to be able to get another, 6.5%. But nevertheless, she says go get one, and she's using 14%, which tells me, by the way, this is more like an unsecured line of credit, not against the property, because this rate is obnoxiously high. Even at the end of 2023, SOFR was, I think, in the mid fives. I haven't checked it, but we're talking this is 900, 800 at least basis points higher than the benchmark. So this seems like it's unsecured. Okay, nevertheless, she then says, and I'll show it on the screen here. She says to take, this is month one up here, okay, which I'm going to input in the spreadsheet. She says take the $10,000 line of credit, pay down the line with your income, $5,200, okay, leaving you with a balance of $4,800. Then obviously you have life expenses, $4,100. So you have a new balance of $8,900, of which you have to pay the 14% interest rate for that 1 month, which is $116.67. Okay, that's month one on what to do. She then rolls the combination of this remaining balance and the interest into the next month and does the process again. Okay, and she says in 6 months, you'll pay down that $10,000 line of credit, and thus you'll have paid down $10,000 worth of principal of the mortgage, right? Well, let's see it. Month 3, this is the line we're looking at, right? Remaining balance needs to be 0 for the line to be paid off, okay? Doesn't happen in month 3, doesn't happen in month 4, doesn't happen in month 5. She says month 6. Well, how is that possible? There it is. You still have $4,200 plus in the balance. I figured out, I know why she said that. It's because the line balance at the beginning of month 6 is $5,375, which By the way, her numbers are wrong. She, for some reason, has 4969. I don't know where she got that from. But she's then saying, take all your income, pay down the line. You're done, right? Do you want to go eat your shoe that month or not pay your mortgage? So obviously you still have expenses for that month that you need to bring back into the line. Okay. So that re-ups it. So when does it happen? None in month 7, none in month 8, nearly month 9. In month 10, you have a small outstanding balance of $53. So she claims 6 months. The reality of the math is it's 10 months, a little bit more, 10 in like a day. And she claims then if you do this, you're paying it down in 77 months, right? The entire mortgage. Well, the reality is you're not. You're actually adding about 60, at least 60% to that timeline, okay? Okay, let's just plug this in really quick. She says 77 months to pay down the mortgage. She got that assumption from saying that you're going to be able to pay down the chunks at 6 months' time. The reality is it's 10 months. So she's off by 4 months. We take those 4 months. So she's off by 67% in her timeline, which this may not exactly work out in reality because maybe there's some sort of on the amortization schedule. She might be able, it might be faster than this, but bottom line is just to give you an idea, she's more like 9.5 years, not 77 months, which she was claiming 6.5 years. So we're talking about 3-year change here. Okay. Why does the math look like it works? If you watch the video, you'll see it's like, oh yeah, that works. Well, here's why. And she has a quote in there, which is, I'll have to find it. It's genius. Notice this net income of $1,100. Okay. When she's taking out the line for $10,000, she's paying back that loan with the full $5,200, which includes that $1,100. That's where it's coming from. And look at the simple math here. Here's your line balance initially. Use the loan to pay it down. Then your expenses go back up, right? Look at the difference between the end balance of each month and the beginning, $1,100. She's just paying down the line with the $1,100 that's sitting there anyways. So why even bother doing the line? You're paying a higher interest rate at 14%. You're better off, and I ran the numbers, just add the 1,100 each month to the mortgage. 150, 10%, 135 mortgage, 7.75, 30 years, add $1,100 in. Now, I wouldn't necessarily recommend putting all of it in. Her example, I'm doing apples to apples here. Her example, she's saying throw it all in, right? No saving, investing, emergency fund, whatever. You do that, you're getting it paid off in 7 years and 3 months, which, by the way, ironically, is pretty similar to the time frame that she's saying in her analysis. Okay, a lot of frustration here actually, and I thought, well, maybe she just made one video. Okay, YouTube slipped this one in. There's a lot of views. I get it. And I frankly, I actually went through the comments even, or some of them, and I said, okay, this is crazy that people are saying this should be taught in every high school. You are amazing. Thank you so much. When this is that, I mean, it's that wrong, literally to the point where she's got her own math wrong. Plus then her methodology itself, the math is wrong. And then the methodology in general is wrong on how to do this. So again, though, I thought, you know what, fantastic. I'm sure this is just one video about this. No, turns out her entire channel is about using this strategy. She's got over 1,000 videos, which, by the way, kudos to her. 1,000 videos, and I think I saw her oldest video was 2 years. Let's see. So 1,000 videos in 2 years. Pretty good. But it's not just this one video. It's every single one talks about this quote-unquote strategy. So to the 163,000 people that like this video, and I don't know how many of these 15,000 comments out there like it. Some of them, so there are people in here who are like, no, this ain't right. Like this person talks about it pretty well. A few others are like, okay, they bring up the 1,100. Some other people bring up the 10 months. It's just blatantly wrong. So I hope you don't do the strategy. I hope you just pay down the mortgage if that's what you choose to do. I would argue even not to do that. But if you're doing apples to apples comparison, how to speed up your mortgage payoff, certainly don't do this. Bad idea. Okay, I felt compelled to bring this one out. Hopefully you get some value from it. Thanks.
I mean, I even do these scenarios and I think to myself, oh, wow, I must have done something wrong because those figures just aren't right.